Now that we have covered the tools and the basics from week 1, let's practice using all of the tools that we've learned and see how we can make the best use out of them with a few examples. If we go into our SpaceClaim environment, just align ourselves with the Z plane, I'd like to show you an interesting exercise where you can turn a 2D image from that you might have downloaded from online into a 3D image, how you can import it into Ansys SpaceClaim. We can go into File and open. You can open an existing design. Yeah. Let's find where I put this image. Should be on my desktop. Okay. Let's put all files. And over here, doesn't like importing it that way. What we can do is actually, if I just go onto the desktop, we can drag and drop it into the SpaceClaim environment. So I just have a JPEG image of a bottle, yeah, and dragging and dropping it seems to work better. Sort of likes it that way. I can sort of import it into SpaceClaim as a 2D image. And now you can see I've laid it flat onto my SpaceClaim environment. So if you have not just a stock image, right, you can also have an engineering drawing or diagram. You can just drag and drop it into place, yeah, to import it sort of as a reference guide or reference document. And you can use it to trace images or geometry to help you sort of draw. So let's say that we had this soda bottle that we wanted to replicate. What we could do is can draw a center line through the center of the bottle, yeah, and we could theoretically, let's make sure it's as centered as possible. We could theoretically trace using the tools that we have learned up to now the outline of this bottle, starting from the cap, yeah, obviously I'm just gonna do it roughly for now. Yeah. Let's see if we can smooth some of these surfaces using our corner tool. Yeah. Here to here. Actually, Actually, considering this image might be a bit too small, let's just enlarge it a tiny bit. You can do image manipulation as well over here. Quite simply, very similar how you just do it in a Word document or an Excel file, or even just a PowerPoint presentation. You can sort of drag and drop all of these. Let's see if we can do that over here. Let's redo the rounded corners, sorry. Over here, one like that, one like that, one like this. There we go. Now let's move on down to this bottom edge. So, okay, like that. As you can see, I'm pretty much just tracing some quick straight lines over here, just for the outline of the bottle. And then we'll edit the geometry in a tiny amount of time. Just doing some quick sketch just as an example. Let's see that. Obviously, you have to choose the right tool for the job. This tool we haven't discussed, but it can also come in helpful. It's a 3-point arc over here. So you set the endpoints and then the center point. Just helps me get some of these curves in place. It's a bit more of an advanced tool, but it's not that hard once you get used to it. You can see it allows me to sort of get a few more edges in place. Let's see, the center line is not long enough. Let's see if we can do it like that. Okay. And just to finish it off, let's close this gap right here. Now let's smooth some of these corners that we have. So you can see how I'm sort of using these tools to my advantage, just to quickly lay down some geometry, but at the same time I'm also editing the geometry as I go along. As I can see here, I have a bit of an excess geometry. Just get rid of that. There we go. Just to make sure we have a smooth edge. Let's zoom in over here to all of these connections and try to create a few bends. Okay. Then over here, get this one as well. Yep. That looks much better, much neater, much nicer. And lastly, do it over here. Okay, there we go. That should be just a rough sketch of this. Obviously, the more time you invest, the better it will look. Just close the geometry over there. And now, using the pool tool that we discussed in this lesson, we can sort of, well, first let's get rid of that. There we go. Just so we can see what we have, we can do a little revolve around here, around the center line. Then we can pull it around. that should give us a nice representation of a bottle, yeah, from a drawing. Obviously, because the SpaceClaim work environment, obviously, right, when you have a sketch plane, you have dimensions over here. You could scale your bottle or your image or your engineering drawing so those dimensions line up or match up. Over here, I just did a quick sketch just for demonstration purposes, but you can see how it's sort of given us a rough representation of the bottle. Obviously, you can add a few more features, you know, on this 3D geometry if you wished, you know, because the bottom end does not match the bottle 100%. You can do a few cuts on there, which we'll cover in week 2. But you can see just after 1 week with some simple line and bend tools, yeah, and some reference geometry, we can create some real life applications, real world models off of reference geometry and reference sketches. Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, I hope you are following along. I hope that was easy enough for you to follow. If I just recap what I did, going back, we just dragged and dropped a reference image onto our sketch plane. We made sure that it was of our appropriate dimensions for us to sketch, and just using middle mouse button with shift to move around, middle mouse button with control to zoom in and out. We used the line tool to sketch. Obviously, you can draw lines normally, yeah, just click, drag and drop. You can press escape to exit the tool. You have to press escape twice. You can see the tools highlighted over here. So if I'm in the line tool, I press escape once and it will bring me back into select mode. You can select lines by clicking on them. You can hit delete. That can, you know, remove them, take them away. You can click delete. Obviously, everything that we add onto our model is in our structure tree, all of our arcs and lines. We used the corner tool a lot in this model. You can see just to refine some of the geometry. We created some reference geometry over here. This, yeah, using the little construction line tool, yeah, just to define it as our axis for the rotation. Yeah, when we do the pull using a curve, you can even get rid of this image using escape, using delete, sorry. Yeah. Last but not least, we just clicked on pull. It highlights an enclosed surface for us to pull on. Once you click on that, you can hit the revolve. Yeah. Once you hit revolve, it asks you to choose a line to revolve it on. You click on that. And so, yeah. So we want to revolve the surface area around this axis. Okay, once you get this circular arrow representation, it means you can revolve it around how many degrees you wish. Yeah. Remember, you can also type in over here into the box if you want it only 180 degrees around. That will give you half of a bottle. Yeah. If you want it to be to go all the way around, that's 360 degrees. That will give you a full bottle shape. Some quick keys: Control Z is undo, Control Y is redo. Yeah, to exit any tool, like I mentioned, you press escape. So that was just one quick example of a real world application of the tools that we've learned in this lesson. Let's go. Let's try a few more exercises, a few more examples using some of the other sketch tools over here. that we have that we really didn't cover in the course, but you can practice with them, such as the ellipse tool. So obviously, well, sometimes obviously or not so obviously how this works is first you have to select how long you wish the ellipse to be. Let's go over here somewhere close to the center because it defines the center line and the edges from the center. Well, let's say 20 mil. And then you define why do you want the ellipse to be. All right? So the thickness over there. That works. It gives you obviously some angles over here because you can also do it diagonally if you wished. Yeah, and it gives you sort of the center line of the ellipse. It gives you the angular dimensions from the vertical. That's 30 degrees. It rotates it that way. Obviously more than 90 if I put 120. Rotates it that way. 90 is perpendicular to the vertical. 0 is along the vertical. You can edit the width and obviously the height of the ellipse as well. Obviously, let's try some other pull tools just for you to get familiar with them. Obviously, you can first let's select the body, and now if we select pull, we can sorry for this. So what you do with scale body, yeah, right? It's in the title. You can scale a body if you wish. So pretty much if we go on our previous example of the bottle, if you wanted to create a water bottle of different dimensions, so obviously sometimes water bottles, they come in like 0.5 liter, 1 liter, 1.5 liters. You could use this tool, yeah, which is the scale body. I can show you how to do it right now. Pretty much you have to select an entity, right? So what we do is first we select it. So you triple click your body to select the whole body if it 1, 2, 3. Yeah, triple clicking selects the whole solid body. Yeah, single clicking just selects a surface. Double clicking selects an edge usually, and triple clicking selects a whole body. If we go into pool and then select or hit scale body, it sort of asks us for an anchor point. Usually I select a set of axes, or you can put a reference point or dot, or obviously this is some unfortunate geometry because as an ellipse it doesn't have a corner or point for us to select, but you can select the set of axes on the body. Then you can drag this sort of to give it a different scale, and you can see it parametrically edits the whole body and, you know, affects the size. You can make it half the size. If you go to 0.5, that will be half the size, or you can go all the way up to 2 and this will double the size of the body. It just scales it. Let's see if we can go back to the example of the bottle.